chosen one. Stop what you are doing right now, because what I am about to speak into your life is not something you can afford to walk past. I did not bring you to this moment by accident. There is no such thing as a coincidence when it comes to you. Not today, not with what is unfolding around your soulmate, and not with the very real weight you have been quietly carrying in your chest without knowing exactly where it comes from. Something has shifted. You may not have the words for it yet. You may not be able to point to a single moment and say that is where it started. But you have felt it, that low hum of awareness that something is not right. That strange pull in the direction of a person you think about more than you let anyone know. That restlessness in the quiet hours, when the world around you has gone still, but your spirit has not. I am here to tell you that feeling is not random. It is not anxiety without cause, and it is not you simply being too sensitive. It is a signal, and I need you to pay attention to it, because your soulmate is in the middle of something serious right now. Something that has roots running deeper than what anyone on the outside can see. Something that is pressing against their soul, pulling at their choices, and threatening to take them further from the path that was always meant to lead back to you. And whether you realize it or not, you are connected to this moment in a way that matters more than I can fully put into words. Your response to what I am about to share with you has the power to change the direction of everything. So do not look away. Do not let distraction pull you out of this space. Stay here, stay present, because I am speaking to you specifically. And what follows is meant for your ears alone. If you are just now finding this space for the first time, I want you to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Because this is a place where you will receive words that your spirit has been waiting for. Stay until the very end, because the message that lands in the final moments is often the one that changes everything. I want to be clear about something before we go any deeper. I am not speaking to everyone who clicked on this video. There are people who will watch this and feel nothing, because this message simply is not for them, but you. The one who is still here, the one whose heart rate shifted slightly when you read the title, the one who is now leaning in just a little. I am speaking directly to you. You are chosen, not in a way that makes you superior to anyone else, but in a way that means your path has been marked. Your connection has been set apart, and the bond between you and your soulmate carries a purpose that neither of you has yet fully understood. And that purpose is now being tested. This is what I need you to understand more than anything else. What your soulmate is going through is not simply a bad season or a rough patch. It is a test, and the test has implications for both of you. It is reaching across the invisible cord that ties your souls together. And it is asking a very specific question, not just of them, but of you. The question is this: will you stay when it is hard to understand? Will you remain when nothing seems clear? Will you hold your ground when everything in you wants to either chase them down or walk away entirely? I am telling you right now that both of those extremes will cost you something. Chasing will push them further into the confusion they are already drowning in. Walking away will close a door that has not yet finished opening. The only answer that leads to what you both actually want, is found in the space between those two reactions. It is found in stillness, in awareness, in the kind of grounded presence that can only come from something deeper than emotion. So let us talk about what is actually happening. Let us get specific, because you deserve more than vague comfort. You deserve to understand what your spirit has already been sensing. Type Amen. If you feel this message was sent to you today, there are signs that have been appearing in your life recently, and I want to name them so you know you have not been imagining things. First, there have been moments when you think of this person without any obvious reason, not because you are obsessing, but because your connection is alive, and it is sending signals the way a nerve sends pain signals when something is wrong in the body. Your thoughts, returning to them unprompted, is not weakness. It is spiritual intelligence. Your soul knows something your mind has not been able to fully articulate yet. Second, you may have noticed a change in the energy between you two. Even if contact has been limited or inconsistent, there is a flatness where there was once warmth, or there is heat where there was once ease. Things feel slightly off in a way that does not match the surface level of what is being said. Because what is being said is not the full story. Your soulmate is holding something back, not to hurt you, but because they have not yet found the courage to face it themselves. There are things happening inside them that they have not given voice to, and that silence is creating a gap that you can feel even when you cannot explain it. Third, and this is important, you may have caught yourself second-guessing your own perception. Wondering if you are reading too much into things, wondering if the heaviness you feel is about you rather than them. I am telling you to stop dismissing yourself. Your perception is not the problem. The problem is that something is genuinely wrong in the space of this connection, and your discernment is picking it up accurately. You are not too sensitive, you are spiritually alert. And right now, that alertness is one of the most important things you have. Now, let me tell you what your soulmate is actually carrying, because it is more layered than you know. They are not simply struggling with a situation, they are struggling with themselves. There is a version of who they have been presenting to the world, and there is a version of who they actually are at their core. And right now, those two versions are in conflict. The gap between them has been growing quietly over time, and what you are witnessing, even from a distance, is the pressure that grows when a person can no longer sustain the performance of being someone they are not. This is not a flaw in your soulmate. It is actually evidence of their growth. Growth is rarely graceful. It is disruptive. It shakes the structures that were built on false foundations, and your soulmate built some of those structures for reasons that made sense at the time. Perhaps for survival, perhaps for belonging, perhaps because someone in their past convinced them that who they truly were was not enough. And those old beliefs are now cracking under the weight of everything they have come to feel when they are with you or when they think of you. Because you, simply by existing in their life, have raised a standard they can no longer ignore. Type 777 if you trust that the universe is working on your behalf right now. Here is something specific I need you to know. There is a decision your soulmate has been avoiding, not a small one, a real one. One that has been sitting in the corner of their awareness, like a thing they keep walking past and refusing to look at directly. This decision involves a situation, a dynamic, or a person in their life that is not aligned with the truth of who they are meant to be. It may be a relationship that no longer serves them. It may be a pattern of behavior they keep returning to because it is familiar, even though it has never once made them feel whole. It may be a choice they made before they understood what they actually wanted, and that choice is now making demands they do not know how to answer. And here is where you come in, not as the one who forces that decision, not as the one who delivers ultimatums or demands clarity on a timeline that suits you, but as the one whose presence in their life is quietly, persistently making the avoidance harder to sustain. Your soulmate cannot keep running from this forever. And part of the reason the running is becoming more exhausting is because somewhere in the back of their heart, they know you are out there. They know you represent something real. And the gap between what they are settling for and what they could actually have with you is growing impossible to ignore. This is not comfortable for them. Truth rarely is when it arrives after a long period of hiding, but it is necessary and it is moving. Even right now, as you watch this, Something in them is shifting. Subscribe to this channel if you want to continue receiving messages like this one. New words are released regularly for those who are meant to find them. Click subscribe and you will never miss what was meant for you. There will be moments in the days ahead when you feel an impulse to reach out, to check in, to say something, just to break the silence. I am not telling you to ignore that impulse entirely, but I am asking you to discern it carefully before you act on it. Ask yourself whether the reach is coming from a place of genuine care or from a place of anxiety. Ask yourself whether you are trying to create connection or trying to relieve your own uncertainty. There is a difference, and your soulmate will feel the difference even if they cannot articulate it. Reaching from anxiety pushes, reaching from grounded love draws. Know which one you are doing before you move. And in the meantime, here is what your work is. It is the inner work, the kind that does not look dramatic from the outside, but is the most powerful thing you can do for this connection. Your work is to tend to your own clarity, to get honest about your own fears, your own patterns, your own places of avoidance. Because your soulmate is not the only one in this connection who has been carrying hidden weight. You have yours too, and the growth that is being asked of you in this season is the growth of self-knowledge, the kind that allows you to show up for someone else without losing yourself in the process. I want to push deeper here, because what I am about to say may be the most important thing you hear today, and I need you to stay with me. If you feel that this work has poured into your life and you want to pour something back, there is a link in the pinned comment where you can support this channel by buying a coffee. It does not have to be much. It is the heart behind it that matters. Your generosity seeds your own harvest. When you give into the work that speaks life into you, heaven takes notice. So if you feel led, go to that link now. Every offering is seen and honored. Now, let us keep going, because there is still more that needs to be said. You have been shaped for this. I want you to understand that on a level that goes past intellectual agreement, I need you to feel it. Every hard season you have ever walked through, every relationship that broke you open, every moment of loneliness that forced you to go deeper into yourself. None of that was wasted. It was preparation. You were being made into someone who could hold the weight of a real connection without collapsing under it. You were being taught how to love without losing yourself. You were being shown the difference between love and need, between partnership and codependence. And all of those lessons are now relevant in a way they have never been before, because what is coming between you and your soulmate, when the dust of this season settles, is not a casual thing. It is not a comfortable, surface-level companionship. It is something that will require exactly the kind of depth you have been developing. A love that is honest enough to be uncomfortable sometimes. A connection that grows from two people who have done their own work. Not two people who are simply afraid of being alone. This is worth protecting. This is worth the patience and the stillness and the discipline of not reacting from fear. And this is why I need you to hold your ground through what is about to unfold. Type 1111 if you believe that what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. Let me tell you what is happening with your soulmate right now on a deeper level. Because the surface picture does not tell the whole story. There is someone or something in their current environment that has been pulling them in a direction they know is not right, but that they have not yet fully resisted. This could be a person who offers comfort without challenge, the kind of connection that feels easy because it does not require them to grow. It could be an old habit or coping mechanism that they have been returning to in moments of stress. Because it is familiar, even if it is not healing. It could be a set of expectations from family or community that has been slowly suffocating the version of themselves that knows what they truly want. Whatever it is, there is a pull happening in their life that is not aligned with truth, and they feel it. They feel the wrongness of it even as they keep returning to it. And the reason they keep returning is not because they want to, but because they have not yet found within themselves the belief that they deserve something better. That is the root of the whole thing. A wound that was placed there long before you came along. A wound that whispers to them in their weakest moments that the real thing, the deep thing, the thing that looks like you, is too good to be real or too good for someone like them. That is a lie, and part of your purpose in their life is to be living evidence that the lie is wrong, not by telling them that, not by arguing with it, but simply by being undeniably, consistently, and genuinely yourself. Your presence in their life is already doing more than you realize. Type 888 if you are ready to receive everything that has been held in reserve for you. There is a conversation coming. I want you to be prepared for it because it will not arrive looking the way you might expect. It will not be a grand romantic declaration or a perfectly scripted moment of clarity. It will be smaller than that and more real. It may begin as something almost ordinary. A quiet exchange that shifts in tone, a moment where the mask drops. A sentence that starts in one direction and ends somewhere neither of you planned. And in that moment, everything you have been holding, all the patience, all the self-work, all the faith you have maintained, even when you felt nothing concrete to hold on to, it will matter. The quality of your response in that moment will shape what comes after in ways that are impossible to fully predict, but very possible to ruin. So here is how you prepare. You prepare not by rehearsing what you will say, but by knowing who you are when things are uncertain. You prepare by practicing calmness now in the smaller moments of stress and confusion that come before the bigger ones. You prepare by choosing, again and again, to return to the centered place inside you, rather than the reactive one. Every time you do that, you are building something. You are building the kind of emotional foundation that will not crack when real pressure arrives. And here is what I want you to hold on to above everything else. You are not waiting for a rescue. You are not waiting to be chosen by someone who may or may not be capable of recognizing what they have. You are waiting for a truth to rise to the surface. A truth that is already moving, that has been moving for longer than you know, and that will reach its natural moment of visibility in its own time. Your job is not to force that moment. Your job is to be ready for it when it comes. Type yes if you are willing to do the inner work required to hold a love that is real. Let me speak now about what is happening in your soulmate on a soul level, because what is unfolding beneath the surface of their behavior is actually remarkable. Even if it does not look that way from the outside, they are in the middle of an awakening that they did not ask for and cannot fully control. Something has been cracked open inside them, a part of them that had gone quiet, a part that had settled for less and convinced itself that settling was wisdom. That part is waking up. It is uncomfortable in the way that a limb waking up from numbness is uncomfortable. There is pain involved in coming back to life. There is disorientation. There is the sudden awareness of how much time has passed, how many choices were made from fear rather than truth, how much of themselves they gave away to things and people that never gave back in kind. This awakening is not your fault. You did not create it, but you are connected to it in the sense that your existence in their awareness, even when contact has been minimal, has been one of the things keeping that awakened part from going back to sleep. There is something about the truth of who you are and who you are to them that will not allow them to fully settle again. And that is both a gift and a burden they are carrying right now, one that they have not yet learned how to hold gracefully. What that looks like from the outside can be confusing. It can look like withdrawal. It can look like inconsistency. It can look like someone who wants you desperately one moment and seems to have forgotten you exist the next. Do not let those fluctuations mislead you into thinking the connection is dying. You are not watching something end. You are watching the most difficult part of a beginning, the part that looks like chaos before it becomes clarity. Type 333 if you have felt the connection between you and your soulmate, even in silence, even in distance. There is a specific thing I need to say to those of you who have been questioning whether you are holding on to something that is not meant for you. I hear that question. It is a fair and honest question, and it deserves a real answer. Here is the truth. There is a difference between holding on from fear and holding on from discernment. Fear holds on because it cannot tolerate the grief of letting go. Fear holds on because it has decided that this one person is the only possibility, and without them there is nothing. That kind of holding is not faith. It is desperation, and it will exhaust you. But discernment holds on because it has been given something. Not just hope, not just desire, but a genuine sensing, a quiet knowing that lives beneath the noise of emotion and does not shift with every change in circumstance. If what you feel for this person is rooted in that deeper place, if there is a knowing in you that exists independent of whether things are going well or going badly, that is worth attending to. That is not wishful thinking. That is spiritual intelligence, and I am asking you to trust it without suffocating it. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to defend it to anyone who questions it. You simply need to tend to it quietly, the way you tend to anything that is real and living and worthy of care. Type 2222. If you know that what you have felt for this person is not imagined, that it is real and it has meaning. Now I want to bring you to the center of what is happening, to the turning point that is beginning to form, because things have been building for a while now, building in ways that are not always visible, and they are approaching a moment of release, like pressure that accumulates until it finds an outlet. Your soulmate is approaching a moment where the walls they have built, the stories they have told themselves, the avoidances they have maintained, can no longer hold. Something is about to give. This is not a collapse. Do not interpret it that way. It is a breakthrough. Breakthroughs do not always look like triumphs. Sometimes they look like breakdowns. Sometimes they look like a person finally sitting down with the thing they have been running from. And the sitting down looks from the outside like falling apart. But falling apart is how people fall into truth. It is how the false structures give way to something that can actually bear the weight of a real life. When this happens, and it is closer than you might think, your role is not to be the one who puts them back together. You are not responsible for reconstructing someone else. Your role is simply to be present in whatever form presence is available to you, without panic, without pressure, without an agenda. If they reach for you, meet them where they are. If they do not, hold your own ground and know that the movement happening in them is real regardless of whether it is directed at you in the moment. Before we go further, if this message is already speaking to something deep inside you, if you feel something stirring in your chest, your support means everything to this work. There is a link in the pinned comment where you can buy me a coffee. It is a small act that carries enormous spiritual weight. When you pour into something that pours into you, You open a channel of reciprocity between yourself and heaven. Every contribution, no matter how small, tells the universe you are ready to receive. Check the description and the comments for that link whenever you feel moved. Now, let us continue. Type 5555 if you are choosing to release anxiety about timing and trust the process that is already working. There is a moment I want to describe to you, a moment that is approaching, and I want you to be ready for it in your spirit before it arrives in your physical reality. There will come a point, possibly soon, possibly in the form of a conversation or an encounter, or simply a change in the quality of what passes between you, where the mask comes off completely, where your soulmate stops performing and starts speaking from the part of them that is real. This will feel different from anything that has happened between you before. It will feel raw and unfinished and honest, in a way that is almost startling, because you are so accustomed to the more careful version of them. When that moment comes, here is what you must not do. You must not treat it like a victory. You must not rush to capitalize on the vulnerability with declarations or demands. You must not make the moment about what you have been waiting for. You must simply receive it, be present for it. Let them know through the quality of your presence that this version of them, the unfinished, uncertain, real version, is not less, that it is actually more, that you are not afraid of it, that you are not going anywhere. That response, more than any word you could plan or any gesture you could arrange, will do more for the future of this connection than anything else I could tell you to do. Because what your soulmate needs most, underneath all the layers of complexity, is the experience of being truly seen by someone who does not flinch. They need to know that real love is possible for them, not someday in the abstract, but now in the mess of who they are right now, and you with your patience and your groundedness and your willingness to stay when others would have left. You are the one who can give them that. This is the purpose of the connection, not simply companionship, not simply happiness, but healing. The kind of healing that comes from being truly known and truly chosen all at once. Type 9999 if you are willing to be that presence for someone, not from a place of need, but from a place of genuine love. Let me also speak to the fear, because you have not been without your own. I want to honor that. There have been nights when you wondered if you were wrong about this. There have been moments when the silence felt like rejection, and the distance felt permanent, and the small signs that felt like meaning felt instead like desperate interpretation. There have been times when you wanted to close your heart, to protect yourself, to decide that the whole thing was a fantasy you had invented, and to simply move forward without it. I am not here to tell you those fears are unreasonable. They are not. They are the entirely natural response of a person who has invested real feeling into something that has not yet returned, that investment in full. And I am not going to promise you that this ends perfectly or on your timeline. What I will tell you is this: the fear that you feel is not evidence that the connection is false. It is evidence that it is real. Only things that are real can frighten you at this depth. Only things that matter can produce this kind of vulnerability. Your fear is not a warning to get out. It is a confirmation that something genuine is at stake, and what is at stake is worth the fear. That is the truth. What is being built between you and your soulmate through this season of testing and waiting and growth is the kind of foundation that can hold a real life, not a fantasy, not an idea of love. A real working, breathing love between two people who have been shaped by difficulty and have chosen each other anyway. That is rare, that is sacred, and it is coming. Type 4444 if you choose to release the fear and hold your ground in faith. You have made it to the deepest part of this message, and I want to thank you for staying. Most people would have drifted away before this point. The fact that you are still here tells me something about you. It tells me that you are not looking for a quick comfort or an easy answer. You are looking for the truth, even when the truth is hard, and that quality, that willingness to stay present with the hard and the real, is exactly what the next chapter of your life and your love story is going to require. So, you are already practicing the right thing. Here is what I want to leave you with. Your soulmate is in the middle of a process. They cannot rush and cannot skip. They are being asked to become through fire and friction, and the slow work of truth, the version of themselves that is capable of receiving what you have to give and giving back in kind. That version is not far. It is not hidden behind years of work that has not yet begun. It is actually close, pressed up against the surface of who they already are, waiting for the last layer of resistance to fall away. And it is falling, even now, even in the silence, even in the inconsistency and the confusion. It is falling. And you are being asked to become the version of yourself that is capable of receiving what they will eventually have to offer. Not the version that is anxious and waiting and measuring every signal, but the version that is so rooted in your own truth, so clear about your own worth, so full of your own life and purpose, that you are not depleted by the waiting, the version that can love fully and also live fully at the same time, so that when the connection fully opens, you are bringing something into it rather than expecting it to fill what has gone empty. This is the invitation of this season, to grow into the fullness of yourself while trusting the process that is working in both of you simultaneously, to stop watching the clock and start living in the present. Because the present is where your preparation is happening, and preparation is never wasted. Type 1212. If you accept this invitation, type it as a declaration that you are choosing growth over fear, presence over anxiety, and faith over the need to control the outcome. Let me say one final thing before we close, and it is the most important thing of all. You are loved, not by a future version of your soulmate who has finally figured everything out, not conditionally, not as a reward for patience or faith or getting everything right. You are loved right now, in the middle of your uncertainty, in the middle of your fear, in the middle of your hope. The force that brought you to this message today is the same force that is working in the life of your soulmate. And it is not indifferent to what you are carrying. It is attentive, it is active, it is moving on your behalf in ways that you cannot fully see, but that are absolutely real. Everything that is meant for you is moving toward you. Everything that is not meant for you is being moved out of the way. Trust that, not as a passive giving up, but as an active, grounded, awake trust. The kind that frees you from the exhaustion of trying to force things and allows you to show up fully in each moment as it arrives. Your soulmate situation is not the end of your story. It is a chapter, a hard one, a necessary one, but a chapter nonetheless. And chapters turn. What comes next, when the turning point has fully arrived and the truth has had its moment, is something I believe you are going to look back on with a kind of gratitude that is hard to feel right now, but that is coming. Hold your ground, do your work, stay present, and know that you were chosen for this connection, not because it is easy, but because you are the one who has what it takes to carry it all the way through. If this message reached your heart today, please leave a comment below. Tell me what you are holding on to. Tell me what you are trusting for. Tell me where you are in this journey. Your words matter, and this space is a safe one for them. Share this video with someone who is waiting for a word today. Someone who is in the middle of their own hard chapter and needs to be reminded that the force working in their life is not absent. It is preparing something. And subscribe if you have not yet. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a message that was meant for you. New words come regularly for those who have been marked to receive them. And the next one may be exactly what you need in the moment you need it most. Type Amen to seal everything that was spoken over your life today. Type it as a statement of receipt. I receive this. I believe this. I am ready for what is coming. I will see you in the next message. And until then, stay grounded, stay faithful, and remember that what is meant for you will find you because it already has. And it is not finished yet. If you desire to deepen your connection, join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the pinned comment. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world.